All right. Mayor Johnson once told me that the opposite of a lack of safety is not safety, it's joy. I'm not seeing a lot of joy about the current bike program, if I'm being really honest. And I'm not seeing a lot of people that feel safe. I'm not seeing a lot of people that feel pleased by the aesthetics. And so by the mayor's metric of success, we're headed in the wrong direction. I'm going to be honest. I don't like flex posts. I don't. They're a flawed solution. They acknowledge that vertical elements keep people safe, but are not hardened enough to keep people safe. They do not look good. I'm sorry, they don't. But what does look good is the well-designed alternatives in other municipalities that are hardened vertical infrastructure. So I agree with the permanent solutions approach. I do not understand the turn that we took at all. Additionally, a downside to flex posts is drivers regularly hit them and take them out. This is the quote unquote maintenance issue, which proves the theory that existing materials and designs are not sufficient for safety. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty upsetting, and it's most upsetting of all because we're continuing to use funds to remove safety materials as opposed to building a neighborhood bikeway to allow a child to safely bike to school. For a family member to be at the table that would have been lost to a bikeway, we chose not to build so we could remove flex posts. Flex posts that the cities say you can't keep up, so we all acknowledged they were going to come down anyway without spending money. We don't spend $200,000, there's no flex post eventually. We spend $200,000, there's no flex post eventually. We got the same outcome. We spent many FTEs worth of money on removing the flex posts. This was $200,000+ that could have been spent on something that made the city better. And instead we chose it to take out infrastructure. Additionally, the community really knows what mobility study on Welton means. We are talking about studying removing the L line on Welton. It's not a secret. It's been listed as this vague term, but neighbor to neighbor to neighbor, they are mad about this decision that they're not being included in it. I walk down Welton, I talk to neighbors. The businesses are upset. The neighbors are pissed. The RNOs are upset. The RNOs are really unhappy about this, that this is happening without them. These are people, hundreds and hundreds of people that chose to move to a neighborhood because there was transit. And we're talking about removing it. It feels like the 1960s again. We are removing infrastructure that future generations will wonder what the hell we were thinking. I would encourage, instead of continuously turning to removing infrastructure, we ask how we make it better. That we go back to the Federico Pena of Imagine a Great City. That we stop saying what's wrong is what's here today, what's wrong is what's not here today. That is the approach that's flawed here. When I imagine a vibrant Denver, it isn't taking infrastructure that brings people joy and removing it. It's about finding ways to make it enlightening. It's about putting a potted plant on a bike lane instead of a flex post to make it beautiful. It's about, instead of on Welton Street having these high ADA blocks that are really block visibility and like the beauty of the street, what if we explored a low floor train, a streetcar that many cities across the world are begging for right now? And we already have the tracks. We can actually remove the high blocks, make it easier to board for ADA users, put more visitors on the bus. We can make it a beautiful street. And it's cheaper than removing it. It's just maddening. And I think that's what's so frustrating, is that the majority of Denverites voted for a vibrant Denver. And what we're giving them is a 1960s urban renewal vision of transportation infrastructure. And it's really upsetting, really upsetting. And I think it's it flies in the face of what the voters asked for. And when RNOs are whispering about how pissed they are that the city's talking about removing the Welton, that they found out because the city sent a letter to RTD begging them not to make repairs to Welton, we're not headed in the right direction. Like, I'm sorry, I've defended this department the entire time I've been on this board. I look my neighbors in the face and I can't give them answers anymore.
Yeah.
Like, this is like my most impassioned plea ever, to just like, let's just take a breath and think about what we're doing. Like, we are removing the things that are wonderful in our city, not making them better and making them the right versions of what they need to be.
Yeah.
And it's just so defeating. Like my sister does not care about municipal politics. She has no idea what I'm talking about half the time. And she is like, why did they remove the flex posts? Like, and she's like, I don't bike that often, but there's like this weird valet situation on Market where this valet, I used to be able to bike around and I can't on my way to work at 8 a.m. because a nightclub it's a nightclub. It's not a steakhouse. Like, let's be honest. And it's not a very popular member of the community. And I just am like, I'm so sorry. I'm just really emotional because I love this city so much. And I'm watching us choose to deteriorate it. Yeah. And instead of saying, hey, you know what? Maybe the problem with my business is not that there's a light rail here. Maybe it's that we don't have a community here. And that's the thing that I'm begging this department to realize, that that it's costing us money to corrode our city, actively costing us money, when we could spend that same money and make this a better place to be, a place we're happy to be. If Kansas City is working their ass off to build a streetcar, why are we taking ours out? Why, if they're putting in bike lanes, why are we taking ours out? If Omaha's doing it, why are we taking ours out? I don't understand why we're the envy of our region and we're choosing to take away the things that everyone else wants. And so I'm sorry that this is not really a question, but I just am begging for some, it's not even sanity, it's just leadership and vision here, where it's the same thing the voters asked for. We know there's budget issues, we get it, but let's not remove all the things that are wonderful about our city. I just, especially when we can choose to do great things. And so I'm sorry, rant over, but I just, no, that's okay. I love this town too much to watch things keep disappearing that bring joy.
Sorry, I'm gonna try to get out of the sun here so I have a little bit, so you can see my face. No, Jake, I appreciate it, and I appreciate